Hey everyone, it's the Prestior, and it's time for phase 2 of the voting. Let's go ahead and take care of some stuff about the channel. Fortune Summoners has literally like one part left. After that, it's going to be replaced with Tohovania. Due to the fact I have a lot of free time on my hands, I'm going to be attempting to do another Let's Play as well on top of that, which is Anodyne, which is an indie title that recently got greenlit and came out on Steam, so I'm going to show that off. Besides that, I'm doing a scout run for the pit, and after that, we'll see how it goes from there, if you guys want me to continue or not. I don't think I'll make it to the end, but I'll certainly try. As far as what games I'll be you guys can vote on, I reduced it down to 8 titles, simply because I didn't want too many titles for you guys to vote on, because it would take too long and require multiple phases to do this. So I have 8 games. Also, one of the games I went ahead and already made a video of, which is Risk of Rain, which is an alpha title, and it should be coming up tonight, hopefully, or it should be up already. So yeah, Risk of Rain, it's going to be on Sunday, and it's probably the only video I'll do of it because it's an alpha, and you guys will hopefully be satisfied with the video because it's pretty thorough. The other game I'm also going to be starting to do on Sundays is Anti-Chamber, which should only take maybe 3 or 4 Sundays to finish. So I'm doing that for a friend. And okay, let's go ahead and get this going, because I'm kind of on the clock right now. So I separated these into 2 different categories. Games that I own, or at least games that I can't access through normal means to the US. And games that I don't own, which I essentially pretty much pirated, or downloaded the ISO or whatever, and don't actually own the game. So let's start with the games I officially own or cannot get a hold of through normal means. We'll start with PlayStation 1 games. First game, Tactics Ogre, which is a strategy RPG, very similar to something like Final Fantasy Tactics. Originally it was a Super Nintendo game, so the graphics aren't as fantastic, but you do get a bigger army to mess around with. Instead of just 5 people, you have like 10 or 12 or something ridiculous. The class system is not as ridiculous, it's not as in-depth. There's no skill system or anything like that. You just swap classes, and they generally give you just better stats and proficiencies overall. There is magic, but there's not very much of it. So it's pretty decent. It has multiple endings, which is something that Final Fantasy Tactics certainly didn't have. You supposedly can influence the storyline a little bit by doing various things, though it's not as you don't have as much influence as you might hope. But yeah, Tactics Ogre, strategy RPG for the PlayStation 1. Another game for the PlayStation 1 that I also own is Valkyrie Profile, which is an RPG. This game has 3 different endings. I'll only do one, of course. This game, it has its own kind of unique battle system, where you kind of just you do a lot of combos and stuff, and then the enemy does their combos back at you and so forth. The dungeon delving is kind of fun. The music's awesome. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is the good ending. You pretty much need a strategy guide or a walkthrough to actually figure out how to do it. There's an average ending, which is pretty easy to pull off, and the bad ending can only happen if you completely neglect what you're supposed to be doing. Valkyrie Profile, you play as a Valkyrie, and you're trying to get dead people to help. You're recruiting dead people to become ghost soldiers for your battle to prevent Ragnarok from happening or something like that. But there's more to it than that. But unless you know all the secrets, you're not going to know what the actual in-depth plot is, which I didn't know when I was a kid. But if you guys pick this game, I will use a walkthrough to see about doing the actual good ending, so you guys can see a bit more of it. Let's see, PlayStation 2. This game I don't actually own, but it's not released in the US, and that is Namco X Capcom, which is a strategy game. It does have leveling up and stuff like that, but essentially it's a strategy game. Really, it's practically along the lines of Fantasy Maiden Wars, where you don't exactly have that much control if you're leveling up. You just kind of go through all the scenarios. Something to know about Namco X Capcom, it does have a few glitches as far as the PlayStation 2 emulator is concerned. I cannot get the tutorial to work. Luckily the tutorial is completely optional, so I don't have to do it. The problem is I won't know any of the in-depth special things you can do in that game, which has the combats in that game is very combo based as well. You kind of hit a bunch of buttons and do various combinations, do attacks, very similar to like a fighting game almost. As far as the game itself, it's essentially practically a fan fiction of a lot of Namco and Capcom characters. You'll see characters like Ryu, Chun-Li, Morgan, the guy from freaking Super Ghouls and Ghost. There's quite a bit of characters in there, so you'll get to see them all and all that fun stuff. So just note, if you guys do tell me to vote for this game, I will be going at it pretty much blind, and I will be have very little information to go off of. So there is that. Okay, the other two games that I own are PC titles. One is Yes Origin, which is an action-adventure game. It does have leveling up in it, but it's essentially an action-adventure game. Not much else to say about it. It's essentially the beginning of the Yes series, I believe, which, for those who are not familiar, it is just some fantasy setting, really, involving some goddesses and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to go into depth about it. So, yeah, Yes Origins. It has 3 different plot lines you can go through, essentially 3 different characters. There's also an arena. I'll see at least doing at least one of them. From there, we can see how it goes, depending if you guys actually vote for the game or not. And then the final game is a Metroidvania platformer game known as Bunny Must Die, also known as Bunny Must Die and Chelsea and the 7 Devils, because it's essentially 2 games in one. I've actually shown this game briefly on one of my update videos a long time ago, so I am familiar with Bunny Must Die and Chelsea and the 7 Devils. I have done 100% runs on both of them. It has some wonky controls, but besides that, it's very amusing. Bunny Must Die, you play as Bunny, who's a cat girl who got cursed with bunny ears, and she's trying to remove her curse by doing some wackiness. And Chelsea is an elven woman who is trying to just kill all the 7 devils. And both plot lines kind of line up a little bit. It's interesting. So yeah, I will attempt to do a 100% run again. I may have to look up some stuff to figure out where everything is, but I will do a 100% run if you guys pick that game. So there you go. For games I own, Tactics Ogre, Valkyrie Profile, Namco X Capcom, Yes Origin, and Bunny Must Die and Chelsea of the 7 Devils. The other 3 games I have listed are games I don't actually officially own, but I do have an ISO of, or at least I'm pretty sure I have an ISO of 2 of them. First one, Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4, PlayStation 2 game. It's an RPG. It's a very interesting RPG because the Persona series kind of has a balance between actually doing the monster delving and dungeon crawling and actually balancing your own personal life, like going to school, passing tests, getting relationships. It's very unique. The combat's actually kind of the least, and the dungeon crawling is actually kind of the least interesting part, but it's still pretty neat. I haven't finished the game. Like I said, I did download an ISO a while back and played a bunch of it, but I think I got maybe past the halfway point, and then I kind of just started doing other things. But I will say I will not be doing a 100% run of it, due to the fact the game's actually on a time limit, and the only way to do a 100% run is to actually use a walkthrough, or just be really intuitive, I guess. And yeah, I'm not going to be doing that, but I will try to show off as much as possible, at least, most of the quests and stuff. Also, I'll probably cheat on all the tests. Next game for the PlayStation 2 as well is La Pucelle Tactics. I actually got some suggestions for La Pucelle Tactics and Disgaea and Disgaea 2. I went ahead and just picked La Pucelle Tactics. It's a strategy RPG. It's very grindy. It has a lot of depth to it, where you can like level up characters, respec characters, re-level them up, level up skills, level up weapons. There's quite a bit to it. As far as the plot line's concerned, you play as some girl who I think closes devil gates or something like that. I don't really know much about it. It's going to be pretty much a blind run, with the exception of whatever I look up on wikis and facts. So yeah, there's that. And then the last game was Jade Cocoon, which is an RPG for the PlayStation 1. It's essentially kind of I don't know very much about it. I looked up a little bit. It's a turn-based RPG. You can capture and raise monsters. You can fuse monsters. It has a lot of, monster raising mechanics in it. Besides that, I don't really know much about it. So there you go. Those are the games. games I don't own is Persona 4, Pucelle Tactics, and Jade Cocoon. And yeah, so 1 vote per person, 1 game per vote, please. And like I said, I apologize for anyone that didn't get their stuff voted on or put up. It's just kind of the name of the game here with so many more subscriptions and participants. But I'm very thankful for you guys for participating and subscribing and all that good stuff. So as always, thank you. Once again, I'll go ahead and list them all off and all 8 games. Tactics Ogre for PlayStation 1, Strategy RPG. Valkyrie Profile, PlayStation 1, RPG. Namco X Capcom, PlayStation 2, Strategy. Yes Origin, PC, Action Adventure. Bunny Must Die and Chelsea and the Seven Devils, PC, Metroidvania. Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4, PlayStation 2, RPG. Pucelle Tactics, PlayStation 2, Strategy RPG. And Jade Cocoon, PlayStation 1, RPG. So there you go, 8 games. Hopefully you guys find something you want, and I will see about starting these games whenever I get enough votes and I actually get an opening. So, thank you guys as always. I'm The Depressed Dior. See you guys later.